The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 43, Am I Doomed to be Fat? Hello and welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond the food to the real issue. What is the real issue? I know you've thought that the real issue has always been food, exercise, working out, how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, where you eat, everything about food and exercise. However, believe it or not, all of that is only 10% of the solution if what you want is you want to have ease and flow with your healthy lifestyle living. If you want to stop yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, binge eating, stuffing yourself, last supper eating, self-sabotage, low self-esteem, low self-worth, on and on and on and on. If you want to leave all of that unhealthy behavior in your past so that you can just simply live a healthy and fit lifestyle without force, then the real issue is your mindset. Mindset is 90% of the challenge in actually any area of life, not just weight loss, but anything that you want to do. Mindset is 90% of the game. The physical actions that you take to lose weight, those are only 10%. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that 95% of dieters fail? Why is that when there are so many healthy eating and exercise programs on the planet? There are so many nutritionists, there are so many physical fitness trainers, there are so many gyms, there's so much healthy food available. So then why are so many people fat? Why is that? Why is it that hardly anyone can keep a New Year's resolution to lose weight? Why is that? Well, it's because of your mindset. You have inner programming that is running right now that is keeping you stuck, frustrated, fat, fed up. It's that inner programming that is driving you to the food and causing you to overeat when you wish that you could just stop eating. Well, not stop eating completely, of course, because you do have a human body, but what you wish is that you could only put food in your mouth when you're hungry, correct? If you could do that, then what would be the problem? Now, of course, it is very helpful to get off of most processed foods since they can gunk up your system, but even with that being said, why is it that you don't do that? Why don't you do the things that you know are good for your body? It's because you do not have a weight loss mindset. Mindset's 90% of the game. And like I said a few minutes ago, it's the same for any area of your life. Olympic athletes know this. Highly successful business people know this. Anyone who has achieved any level of success in their life already know this. There's a reason that Madonna has a life coach. There's a reason that Oprah has a life coach. There's a reason that someone of the level of Dr. Wayne Dyer has his own coach. There's always more to learn, but especially if you want to get to a place that you're not at right now and you want to get to that place in the least amount of time possible, you hire a professional coach to help you. Why? Well, ask Madonna, ask Oprah, ask Dr. Wayne Dyer. The reason is because we all have our own inner blind spots. You don't know what you don't know. And how in the heck are you supposed to solve your own mindset problems if you have never achieved permanent weight loss up until this point? How would you even start? Where would you start? How would you do that? So, today's topic is, am I doomed to be fat? Okay, so talking about this inner programming, your beliefs rule your life. If you believe that you were born fat, or if you believe that you're doomed to be fat, you are correct. You always will be fat. It's a fact, because that's what you believe. How do you know that you believe these thoughts? Well, it's not that hard to figure out what your beliefs are, but on the other hand, it can be hard because you're so used to the limiting thoughts and beliefs that you think. Here's a great way to find out what your limiting beliefs are that are holding you back from losing weight and keeping it off. Just carry a small notebook with you for 7 days, or even if you could do this for just 1 day, that would be a really big thing. And every time you think a negative thought, write it down on paper. Now, you might be asking, why? I thought I was supposed to always be positive, especially if you know anything at all about the law of attraction. Then you may have been thinking that you should always think positive. Well, here's the thing. If you're constantly thinking a negative thought or negative thoughts about your fat and about your body, and then on top of that, you're pasting a smiley face sticker, how does that help you change the negative thoughts? Which a belief is just a thought that you think over and over and over again. So if in your head you're constantly thinking, it doesn't matter what I eat, I always gain weight, that is a belief if you think that over and over and over again. But if you tell yourself, oh, I have to think positive and I can lose weight no matter what I eat, if you don't actually believe that, if that's not true for you, if that's not true in your cells, in your bones, in your gut, then those are just words. And that is like sprinkling water on top of a roof that has 5 layers on it that water can never get through. Those 5 layers are your limiting beliefs that will not let the water, which are the positive thoughts, get through into your inner self, which is your house. Positive thinking is good if you already have a core foundation of helpful, healthy, positive, empowering beliefs. But if you have very negative, limiting beliefs on the inside, it doesn't matter how many positive thoughts you think, because they won't shift that belief. Now, it could be that after 10, 20 years, if you keep thinking positive thoughts, or maybe 5 years, maybe it won't take 10 or 20 years for you, but I can tell you from my own experience that I wasted over 20 years telling myself that I could figure things out all on my own. And I knew that my weight problems were an inner problem. And then I told myself, oh, well, I'll just lose weight and then I'll take care of the inner problem. And that didn't get me anywhere either. So if you wanted to take the route of just positive thinking and never examine your negative limiting beliefs, of course, you have free will, you can do whatever you want, but it depends on the results you want and how fast you want to get results. And the exercise that I'm inviting you to do for yourself is just to help you become aware of what your limiting beliefs are. So if you find that you often think, I'm doomed to be fat, or I can never lose weight, or it doesn't matter what I do, weight loss never happens for me, then when you write these negative thoughts down on your paper and you see them come up over and over and over again, then that will tell you what your inner programming is, and that all needs to change if you want to ever become successful at losing weight and keeping it off. And I do suggest that you work with a professional coach who knows how to help you shift your limiting beliefs in just a few minutes. And then you can move on from those and allow yourself to get out of your own way. But your first step is just to even look at what you're thinking. Whatever it is that you think, you are right. And this applies to anything in your life. If you think the thoughts that you're always going to be fat, then you will be. You have to prove yourself correct. Otherwise, you would be crazy. And you're not going to allow yourself to be crazy. That's why even when you have a very, very unhealthy, very limiting belief, which is a thought you keep thinking over and over again, it doesn't matter how unhealthy it is. You have to prove it to yourself that you're right, because otherwise your whole world, your inner world, would fall apart because you'd be crazy. You have to prove your beliefs right. Your first step is becoming aware of what you're even thinking, what you're even believing. Now, on the other hand, if you were to have the thought that here's a very simple one. I can trust my body. I trust my body to tell me when it's time to eat. Okay, that's a very simple thought. If you had that thought, that would be a helpful, supportive, healthy thought for you, because if you don't even trust yourself, if you don't even trust your body, if you have the belief that you always have to be on a diet, that someone else has to be telling you how to eat, then you're not going to be able to achieve permanent weight loss. And I've had many clients who came to me to do the Inner Self Diet, which is my proven proprietary step-by-step mentoring system to permanent weight loss. And they did not trust themselves. They did not trust food. They did not trust their own mind. They did not trust their own emotions. They certainly didn't trust their body. But by doing the steps of the Inner Self Diet, they learned how to trust themselves, which is the place that you need to get to so that you can release the fat and keep it off. There is no food diet in the world that can do these things for you, the things I'm talking about. And the food diets aren't supposed to do that either. Remember that the food diets, those are only they're only 10% of your solution to getting the body that you want. 90% of it is the inner game. It's the inner self piece. You've got to get to the root of why you ever became fat, overweight, upset, frustrated, depressed, whatever it is. You have to get to the root of that so that you can release that and move on. If you try to put a happy sticker face on your struggles that you're living with right now, that's going to only serve to hold you where you are. You have to be willing to get real with where you are right now before you can move forward to get to the place where you want to be. So it would actually be a good thing if you learn that you're thinking very, very, very negative thoughts about your body and about food and about yourself, and that you write those down as you discover them over 7 days. And like I said, if you'd even do this for 1 day, that would be a big step. But that would be a good thing to uncover the negativity, because how do you, let's say that you wanted to go on a trip to the Bahamas and you need to call up the airline reservation office and buy a ticket, and they ask you, okay, so where are you flying out of? And you said, I don't know. I do know where I am. I'm in Happy Place, New York, New York. And you actually live in Arizona. You live in Phoenix, Arizona. But you think you're telling yourself you live in Happy Place, New York, New York, when you live in Phoenix, Arizona. So then you get a ticket to go from Happy Place, New York, New York to the Bahamas, but you can't use that ticket in Phoenix, Arizona, because that ticket is not going to fly you out of the Phoenix airport. It's going to fly you out of the happy place, New York, New York, but you don't even live there. But you're telling yourself you live there. See, that's what it's like to paste a happy sticker on your frustrations and your struggles. There's nothing wrong with getting real with where you are right now and accepting and making peace with living in Phoenix, Arizona. The only way you're ever going to get to the Bahamas, which is where your ideal body is to make peace with Phoenix, Arizona, which is where you live. Because you don't live in happy place, New York, New York. If you did, then you'd already be there. So I hope that my analogy, my metaphor there helps you, because pasting happy sticker faces on frustrations, it doesn't help you move out of that place. You have to make peace with where you are. I realize that it's much easier said than done, but at least you are having some awarenesses by hearing this podcast today. I strongly recommend that if you really are serious about healing the root of your never-ending food and weight struggles, that you hire a professional coach and mentor to work with. You could definitely work with me, but if you don't want to work with me, great. Work with someone who has the solution to permanent weight loss. It's very, very hard to get out of these struggles on your own. I could never do it, and I wasn't even able to do it after I got trained to help my own clients. I had to still hire my own coaches and mentors to help me go from a size 12 to an 8 in just 2 months back in 2010. And I was already certified in my coaching practice. I was already helping my clients achieve struggle-free success with their weight. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting the help of a professional. It's the quickest and easiest way to get to where you want to go. And if you are serious about doing that and you'd love to have the results that my awesome clients have achieved through the Inner Self Diet, then your first step towards struggle-free success, permanent weight loss with your own body is to go to discovery-session.com and complete that application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. And once again, that is discovery-session.com. Okay, questions to ask yourself. On each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you questions to ask yourself. I invite you, I strongly recommend, I strongly urge you to use pen and paper to write the question down and then write down your answer. Then you will benefit from the connection that occurs between your head, your hand, and your heart. First question. Now, I actually recommend that you answer these questions after you do at least one day of the exercise that I gave you on the show today. Or you could answer them now and just go with what comes to you. But it'll be more powerful for you after you do the exercise I gave you today. So the first question, what is my number one most negative thought about my body or about food that I keep telling myself? What is my number one most negative thought about my body or about food that I keep telling myself? And then write down your answer. Second question, what is the thought that I wish that I could believe instead? And so that would be a healthy thought instead of the first one in the first answer. What is the healthy, positive thought that I wish that I could believe instead? And then write that down. And then the third question, what are the remaining top 4 negative thoughts that I keep thinking over and over again? And these could be related to your body, to food, or they could just be in general. Because this weight problem that you have, it's actually, and this is something that all of my clients learn, it's actually not about food and your weight. It's a life problem. It's a mindset problem, and it invades every area of your life. So, what are the top 4 negative thoughts that I keep thinking over and over again? And you will have, and make a list of those, and you will have uncovered them in, again, that exercise I gave you today. And the purpose of you asking yourself these questions is just to gain clarity on where you're at right now. Remember, all change is preceded by awareness. And if you would love to bust through all of these negative, unhealthy, limiting beliefs that you're uncovering, and you'd like to do it in the least amount of time possible, I do that with my clients in the Inner Self Diet, and it only takes us about 15 minutes to do this on one of the calls in the Inner Self Diet. They do preliminary work and then bring that to the call, and then we go through the process, and they shift a whole bunch of, I guess you could call it garbage meaning that, remember that saying, garbage in, garbage out, so it's a whole lot of negativity that they shift in just a few minutes. And if you would love to be able to break free of your limiting beliefs and also leave all of your negative, unhealthy behaviors behind you in the dust, then your first step is to apply for the complimentary weight loss discovery session at discovery-session.com. Then on that complimentary call, you'll have the opportunity to tell me where you're at and where you'd really like to be, and I can interview you to find out more and see if or how I could help you. And once again, you can apply for that at discovery-session.com. It's time for a commercial break, and today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is 31 Days of LovingYourselfThin.com. You can go to 31daysoflovingyourselfthin.com if you would prefer to take an immediate action step on your own towards loving yourself thin. All actions in your life originate out of one of two core spaces, either the space of fear or the space of love. Just imagine if you were living only out of love for your body, do you think that you would be overeating today? If you said no, you are correct. So you can go to 31, that's the number 3, the number 1, 31 Days of LovingYourselfThin.com and learn more now. Okay, to get a shout out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show, here's how you do it. Just go to JoLynnBraleyShow.com, click like to like our Facebook page, and you will get a shout out on an upcoming episode. Very simple, very easy. We only use first names. It's a way to say hi and acknowledge you for being a part of the show, and it's very simple. Just like our Facebook page. Once again, you can do that at JoLynnBraleyShow.com. Let's take a look at what you learned today, and we will wrap up today's show. What you learned today, among several things, is you learned that 10% of the solution to permanent weight loss is how you eat and how you exercise. It is important how you eat and exercise. It's very important that you drink loads of clean water every day, that you do feed your body healthy foods, that you do get regular exercise. All of these things are important. I certainly do not teach my clients how to eat 3 boxes of cookies in one sitting and still lose weight. That is not permanent weight loss, and that would be a silly claim if anyone ever claimed that to you. However, what makes your healthy eating and exercise super, super easy is your mindset. Once you get a weight loss mindset, that is what makes living a healthy lifestyle very easy to do. A weight loss mindset releases you from the bondage of emotional eating, binge eating, compulsive overeating, yo-yo dieting, last supper eating, diet mentality, low self-esteem, all of those problems that are wrapped up into your food and weight issues. All of that can be solved. It can all be healed, and absolutely 100% the Inner Self Diet solves all that for you. It's not a magic bullet, though. You do actually have to do different things in order to get different results, which is the way it is with anything in life. You learned today that your beliefs are the foundation of your life, and even when you think very unhealthy, negative, limiting beliefs, it doesn't matter. You still will prove those to be correct, even if they're very unhealthy. So if you think the thought, if you believe the thought that you're doomed to be fat, you are correct. You will have a very hard time losing weight, if you will ever be able to lose weight, because you have to prove that belief right, even if it doesn't make any sense to anyone else who loves and cares about you. Whatever you believe, you're right. Whatever you think, you're right. Your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts create your body. Your thoughts create your life. If you think it, if you believe it, you're right. Now, the good news about this is that once you change your limiting beliefs and change your limiting thoughts, then you're going to be able to believe those instead and prove those right. So if you were to have the thought that no matter what you eat, you can maintain the body that you live in, the fit, healthy body that you want, then you would be right. Now, that would not mean that you would sit and eat a gallon of ice cream, because that would not make sense to you. What that would mean is that if you want a cookie, you have a cookie. If you don't want a cookie, you don't have a cookie. It's really that simple. Naturally slender people do not deprive themselves of any foods. They just simply don't have the problems of emotional eating, binge eating, all of that. You also learned today that the quickest and easiest way to get to the place that you want to go, to get to the place where you are completely free of the emotional eating, binge eating, all of those hassles, all of those struggles, the quickest and easiest way to get to the place of freedom so that you can drop the fat and keep it off is to just hire a professional mentor and coach to help you so that you can bust out, break free, and live in freedom from the muckmire so that you can drop the fat and keep it off. You need to have a strong, solid, proven system that you can follow, and it's going to go very fast for you when you have a professional in your corner who is guiding you and steering you around your own inner roadblocks. You also learned today that you can join us at the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and click like to like our Facebook page, and then you'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming episode. So to wrap up the show here today, if you are subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating. We really appreciate it, and this is a 5-star show. We're here. This show is all about helping you bust through the false claims that you have been given by the mainstream diet industry that tells you that all you have to do is do this food diet and then you're going to be happy and fit and everything will be fine. Well, it is true that you do need to eat in a healthy way to get the body that you want. What is not true is that food diet is going to make it easy for you and that you're actually going to be able to do it. You have to do the diet in order to get the results. It's so hard to do it, though, when on the inside you're fat. When 90% of you on the inside is driving you to the refrigerator to overeat and to stuff yourself, how can you follow that healthy eating plan? The good thing about this is that once you get the 90% of you on the inside, transform that into a fit and healthy person on the inside, then it's going to be so easy for you to follow the healthy lifestyle plan on the outside so that you can eat healthy, exercise regularly, drop the fat, keep it off, and have it just be not any big deal. Have it just be a part of your life, because 100% I am telling you the truth that doing a diet and thinking that you're going to lose weight and that then you can go back to how you used to be, that's never going to work. You have to have a healthy lifestyle in order to drop the fat and keep it off. All right, so on next week's episode, Halloween candy addiction. Are you a 3-bagger? That's going to be a fun show. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and you have been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. Head on over to fearlessfatloss.com to learn more. Grab your free 5-day e-course while you're there. It will help you answer the question, is your mindset fit or FAT, and help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good and what you can do about it. You can do that at fearlessfatloss.com. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.